Hello and good evening. What's up, internet? This is your boy Vaughn B and my man Ricky over here. If you can't celebrate yourself, who can you celebrate, right? So how you doing, bro?
So far, I'm good.
The lovely daylight savings time, which everyone hates, voted against.
I totally forgot about that. Right, it's an hour ahead, right?
Yeah. So in
Okay.
spring, it is spring forward and fall back. That's how we learn how to do that when I was a kid. It was like that was the whole phonetic thing. It was spring forward, fall back. So in the
I always
spring you
remember.
go for it.
Yeah, I always remember it's 1 hour less asleep compared to the other one.
Yeah. So happy, joy. Like everyone basically hates it. We voted to not do it, and the California government was like, "Nah, you're gonna do it anyway. Who cares what you
Uh,
want?"
I don't know. They should just stop that, huh? They just go as.
Dude, we voted to not do this like over a
I know,
decade
but I'm
ago.
saying they don't listen to us, so who cares? We
Yeah,
don't count. They always say to vote, but we don't count. So
yeah. All right. So, Daredevil is Born Again dropped on Disney Plus this Tuesday. First two episodes. So we're gonna talk about it a little bit. So before we get into any spoilers, so what did you think of it?
uh, I liked it. I actually liked it. I was not really like a Daredevil fan, but
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to check it out. So I know they had Netflix, the 3 seasons.
Yeah.
I didn't get to watch that one. I know they had the movie with Ben Affleck, 2003.
Mm-hmm.
I watched that one just to get me a little bit more familiar.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of liked his story. I mean, he's Catholic, so I was raised Catholic, and I kind of understand who Daredevil is.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked it. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Penguin, like the Kingpin, this mafia stuff in New York, and
Mm-hmm.
he's at night he's a villain, like almost like Batman. Batman's a billionaire. He's a lawyer. So
Mm-hmm.
I kind of liked it, and I liked a little bit of action scenes too.
Yeah. Yeah. Overall, I thought it was good. Uh, from what I heard, they're going procedural, more like a lawyer show at first
Hmm.
before you get into him as Daredevil. So they give you a teaser if you aren't that familiar with how he fights, because essentially that's how the Netflix show was. It was like kind of brutal fights.
That's what I liked. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, dude. If you know what you like, was it Jet Li said like a actual fight would not take that long. Because especially if you know what you're doing, yeah, the fights don't really take that long
Yeah,
because
because stamina too.
yeah, and it's like you punching the dude in the head and you do it enough times, and especially if you know what you're doing, like you can really hurt somebody really quickly.
You like
Unlike,
this? You like this costume or not? Because a lot of people are complaining they didn't have the logo.
I really couldn't tell. I mean, the costume looks fine. Like
Yeah, I mean maybe just nitpicking, but I liked it.
I think what it is that people really want to like look for reason to not like it because you really
Because
can't
of the
really.
history of Marvel, huh?
Yeah, so like you really can't tell whether or not like the how the costume looks because you don't really see it that you know a lot. So all right, before we get even more started, let's get into the spoilers. There you go. Warning, spoiler alert. All right, so it basically starts off, and I'm like, this is basically shocking to me because there was a whole lot of, I don't know about anger, but disappointment, like about the two characters, like Foggy and
Page,
hmm?
Karen Page.
Right, so them not being in it at all, right?
Hmm.
So it's like, so when I heard that they decided to add them to the cast, I was like, okay, but dude, he gets killed like what 10 minutes into the show, 5-10 minutes into
Yeah,
the
but
show,
Bullseye kills Foggy.
right? And I'm assuming that later on in the series, like later on in the season, they're gonna actually tell why that happened. It's like because was he just shooting Foggy or was he after cops? Because it's a cop bar, so it's kind of
Josie's bar.
Right. So it was kind of I wasn't sure about exactly what was happening because he got that guy that he was hiding in his apartment and got him to tell him where Foggy was. But like if you wanted to go shoot Foggy, you could have just followed him.
Mhm.
So it's like weird.
Yeah, because he was a sniper, right? He shot Foggy and then shot the 2 cops out came out.
Right. And he was
But
killing
he didn't shoot Karen Page.
because when he was about to shoot her, that's when Daredevil hit him.
Yeah, but why did it come down? He could have just shot her, right?
I don't know.
No,
That's what I said.
just saying. I'm not complaining, but I'm just like I was kind of wondering when he was coming out, and then Daredevil comes out and breaks in through the window with them.
Maybe it was more personal. So maybe whatever happened, it was personal between those two. You know,
Oh,
like he
he
shot Foggy.
wanted to
eh,
kill her where he could see him who killed her.
Yeah, you know, maybe that's what it is. But go and I did enjoy the fight because like the way that the fight was happening in the background, so he can hear. Well, I mean, yeah, it was like, and with the smoke bomb inside the bar, he was shooting cops in there, and he was fighting Daredevil at the same time, throwing all kind of knives and all that stuff. Both of them got jacked up, like
Yeah,
a
when he
lot.
was chasing upstairs.
Yeah, and he was just killing everybody who came in front of him, like the people in the hallway killed one dude, hit the lady, and just kept going, and then hitting Daredevil with Matt with all the blades and all that stuff. So that was cool. So the thing about like the biggest thing
I
about
thought it was ninja stars. Remember the ninjas when he throw they used to
yeah,
throw stars and
Coonies.
yeah, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they're called Coonies. Like the ones he was throwing, I think they're called the Coonies. Cooney. Yeah, it's like a little throwing blades like that big.
Yeah, that started
And
off the good scene, the first episode with that.
yeah,
I
yeah.
I was kind of, oh, okay, this is gonna be pretty good here.
Yeah, and then the fact that he can hear Foggy's like heartbeat failing
Mhm.
the entire time.
Yeah, because he told me
Yeah,
he
he can.
can't see, but he can still hear sounds. The fight
Yeah,
almost the
ev-
four senses because he can't see, but he can
yeah.
see the shadows,
Yeah
vibration. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
his four senses are heightened, and he
Hmm.
also got the radar. That's why he was able to cook breakfast and all that stuff, and he knows where everything is. He doesn't need the cane, so he can walk around without the cane because he can basically see everybody around him, so he can move out of people's way. You know, but it's as you can see while when he was following that cop, he almost got hit by a car, and the reason for that is because he was concentrating on the cop and not paying attention to the other stuff. So
Hmm.
it has its limits. Yeah, and like when he gets on top of the roof, I was kind of expecting him to say, if he dies, you die. Now, how the hell Bullseye survived being chucked off a roof
6 floors up.
and landing on his landing on his
Yeah,
face?
that's how.
So he's
I mean,
probably in.
6 floors up. He threw him from the roof, and he survived. So
He's probably enhanced.
maybe he's a mutant. I'm
No,
not sure.
he's I don't know. I'm not too familiar with. I know some aspects of Bullseye, but not enough to tell you whether or not he's not a mutant, but he could be one of those. They have lots of people in the MCU who has the super serum formula, from the Red Guardian to Bucky to I think the guy who replaced Cap first. I think they gave a version to him too. So there's a lot of people who have the super soldier serum. So maybe he has one of those because dude, he landed on his face. Like you tend not to survive that when you.
Especially head injury. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
With the full force going down to the concrete.
Yeah. So what sucks is Foggy was shooting his shot, then he got shot, which and that was the catalyst of Matt quitting being Daredevil, probably because he couldn't save his friend. There's probably not much he could have done because, yeah, he got shot in the heart and he was just bleeding out. So if that much blood is coming out, he's bleeding internally. It's like ambulance wouldn't
It's
have been.
eventually going to go into hypervolemic shock. So
Yeah. So
it's there's not really a chance that they shot you right into the heart unless you go to emergency right away, you have a chance. But
yeah, maybe if they shoot you in the hospital, like you might make it then.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So then they do the whole at the same time, and it seems to be the way the story is going to go is a tale of two people, of the Kingpin and the Matt. Like the direction that they're going in, and they're showing their stories side by side. It's like, so the Kingpin is getting ready for something. He's eating meal. He puts his clothes on and he heads out. At the same time, like Matt is having like that fight and all that stuff. So we get to a year later. After a year, so this takes place after. I'm assuming after Echo. How much
I
of
didn't.
Echo?
No, I didn't. I'll be honest. I didn't watch that show, and
Oh, it
I
was
didn't
terrible.
watch. I didn't watch She-Shock. I didn't. She-Hulk.
Yeah,
I didn't know he was in that series too.
Yeah, he was like her boy
No,
toy at the end.
I didn't
But
watch either Echo or She-Shock. She-Hulk. I mean,
all right, so essentially, I think they're gonna do is they're gonna ignore She-Hulk. Like that didn't happen. No, I'm serious. I think that's the route that they're going with this one.
they better. They want the ratings to go up.
They're taking aspects of Echo from how she shot him in the face.
No, he did mention it, right? When they were sitting each other.
Yeah. So at the end of Echo, she basically made him have a midlife crisis or something. So you got the Kingpin crying. Like, see, this is what happens when you got a lot of females writing for these type of shows.
Basically making the Kingpin looks like he's so soft, huh?
No, what I'm getting at is like it's not just like women can't write for men, because that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is like when they don't fully understand the characters. So they start having him deal with his emotions and all that stuff. I'm like, yeah, the Kingpin has issues, but that's part of his character and all this other stuff. So the Echo was just terrible. And
I didn't watch that.
Yeah, it was so bad. So they're probably gonna take parts of it, you know. So he went from like he changed his life a bit. Now he's instead of being in a storefront with Foggy and Paige, he is in a Upper West Side looking like very fancy building. Like it is him and the DA chick, and they have a whole staff like an actual firm. Like it is not a small dinky one in Hell's Kitchen. Apparently he left Hell's Kitchen because of what happened. And as he's going through it, like Paige left and just disappeared on him. So he's having to deal with all this stuff on his own. But that's kind of what her character is. She is
because all three started a lawyer firm, right?
Yeah, in the storefront.
Paige, Foggy, and him. They did their own law.
Right.
They created a law firm.
Yeah, it was one of those small. They take small cases and like you don't get a fancy law firm like that without taking large cases. So, and I'm trying to remember how because I just watched both of them, so I'm trying to remember how the first one actually ended. It ended with the Kingpin coming in and having a conversation with Vanessa about what happened in the previous year, I guess, of him dealing with whatever his issues and his mental issues and his physical issues. So he's back to normal. Well, as far as normal as the Kingpin gets, she's talking with all the under guy, like the heads of the families in New York. When he walks in, they damn near shit themselves because apparently they must not have seen him for a year. So all the heads are like, what the hell is this dude gonna do? Because he's a Kingpin. So I'm glad that they're going back to him being who he is.
I mean, the guy's a good actor too.
Right. But what they did to the Kingpin this is the whole sheet like MCU thing where they couldn't figure out how to boost up their female characters. So what they did was they undercut all the male characters. Like all the male characters was doing dumb shit that's kind of out of character for them. So like the Kingpin got beat up by the little tiny female Hawkeye.
Echo?
No, well, she beat him
Shaka?
up too.
Well,
No,
yeah,
she
'cause I didn't watch this, so
yeah. So it's like what the hell, dude? It's the same thing. Do you remember when we talk about like when Star Wars with Thrawn?
mhm.
It's like the people who he's supposed to be super smart, but the people who are writing it didn't understand the character a lot and aren't smart enough to write a super smart villain. So they couldn't
and
figure
they
out
made
how,
him and they made him look fat too.
right. So it was just a lot of stuff that there was, and what I'm hopeful about is the fact that they seem to be not is more in the vein of the Netflix shows. So then you
Yeah,
find
'cause
out
they were saying that with the Daredevil, they were having problems. They were gonna bring it out. They were having issues, and they finally, I think the one is the writer, the guy that did Punisher.
I don't know who the writer is, but what I do know is that they filmed a lot of episodes. And then
Okay.
I don't know if it was Kevin Feige or somebody at Marvel looked at him, and this is around the same time where it was pretty evident that the fan base was not feeling the stuff that they were putting out.
hmm
So this was going to be more of the same.
Yeah, because I love Punisher since I was a kid. I like Punisher.
All right, so the TV show was probably going to be more of the same. They went, oh hell no, we cannot put this out because people actually like this character, and this would basically destroy that. So they reshot it. They cast it, like they brought back Froggy. And this is what I was like shocked by Froggy getting shot in the first episode because you made a big deal about bringing those two back, and they're in it for like 5 minutes.
I don't want to bring this show back up. Remember the Acolyte?
Yeah.
Remember that actress that was in the trailer every time they showed her?
Yeah,
And
Karen Ann Moss. Yeah.
yeah, within the 5 minutes, she was dead.
Yeah, and then like a couple of flashbacks here and there. So I don't know if they're gonna do that with Foggy, where he's gonna be some flashbacks here and there, maybe. But I was like, so that kind of threw me. I'm like, oh man, please don't be a Terminator. Like when they killed off, I'm like, dude, please don't do that. But anyway, so you found out at the end of the episode that the Kingpin is running for mayor because there must have been some scandal or something, so the mayor got recalled. There's like an issue with the police department. There's a whole lot of stuff happening, right? And that's basically seemed to be like what oh, hold up, we got a comment. Oh, hey, I thought you was going to join us, man. Cunning genius. Yes, he was a cunning genius. All right. So the Kingpin is running to be mayor of New York City. So he tells Vanessa that he has the 25,000 signatures in order for him to run. All right. So, and he also tells her that he cannot be attached to the business like at all. She's like, well, I did a good job of making the business work in the year that you were gone. So everything is working fine because she's making them money. So they're not tripping on each other and all this other stuff. She's running everything with money and not fear like he was.
Yeah, because when I was watching Kingpin and all that, it felt like I was watching HBO.
Yeah.
Didn't you?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just had that feeling like this is not Disney Plus. This is like HBO for me.
Well, that just tells you that some people at Disney and some people at Marvel are actually learning. It's like, okay, we need to put out stuff that people actually want to. Remember, I keep saying, people want to give you money. Just let them give you money. For whatever reason, they just don't want people to give them money. It's not that it is not a difficult concept. So going into the second episode, like this is where we get like we saw bits and pieces of White Tiger on the television, like it was like on news clips of this guy beating up criminals And
So they were undercover cops, right?
no. This is before that, like in the bar. So in the
Oh
bar,
yeah. Oh yeah.
as when the cops are talking on the TV, you see White Tiger, and he's beating up criminals in the bodega. Because at this point, he hasn't been Daredevil for about a year. So other vigilantes are starting to come around to take up the slack, right? So when it starts is basically he comes into the subway. Is one guy's getting harassed by these other two dudes, so he comes to break it up, turns into a fight. He starts beating the other guys up. The guy either jumps at him or slips or something. He kicks the guy. I don't know exactly what happened.
Oh, when
And
he lands in the train tracks.
yeah, he fell backwards and got hit by the train. So then the other dude was like, "Freeze! It's an undercover cop." The guy gets arrested, and Matt hears about it when he's trying, like, what was he in the police department for? I don't remember. He was like for another case or something because he's talking to somebody.
I know that the one he was talking to Karen Page when he was sitting with her.
No. You're thinking about the trial. It's like I'm trying,
Okay.
like when he like so
Oh
they
yeah, Bullseye.
so,
Yeah.
so it's like
I can't remember really when she was when he was there.
Yeah, so like
because I know he was always hearing stuff.
Yeah, I'm kind of skipping ahead a little bit because I've skipped completely over the trial because it's Bullseye's like sentencing.
Mhm.
So his partner for the year is telling him, all right, so you okay with doing this? It was like, there's not gonna be nothing, you're not gonna do nothing crazy. It's like, no, I can handle this. And he's giving a speech.
Oh, when he has those cops right behind him, then he knows the corrupt cops.
No, like when he's in the trials, like I'm just talking about like the beginning of it when they're in the trial, and he's giving his little speech, and that's when Karen comes in and he can hear her heels and the way she walks.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. So Bullseye gets 11 because he killed 11 people, right? So he gets 11 concurrent lifetime sentences. So he's gonna be in prison for a long ass time. So he gets let out. But they're having a conversation about why she left, yada yada yada. He's dealing with whatever, right? She gives him the piece of his helmet that he dropped, where like it.
when he threw it up from the top building, yeah.
Right, and he already during the fight, one of his horns was broken off anyway. So when he threw it off the roof, it had a broken horn, and she gave that back to him. Maybe trying to get him. I'm not exactly sure why she did that.
It's like maybe foreshadowing, like
that he's gonna be, because that's part of the things that happened with Foggy and Foggy not telling him the situation that he found himself in was because he didn't want him to go back to being Daredevil. Right. So you got to see shots of, like, from the first episode, you got to see shots of him going through the neighborhood, like going. So that was cool. And so I'm just trying to remember why he went to the police station, though, because he overheard the cops beating up the guy.
Yeah. He was there, and then he could hear like he was getting interrogated.
Right. So
he like he was getting beat up. I remember that scene.
Yeah, because basically, you kill a cop, cops feel a way about that. Understandable. So they were kind of tuning him up a little bit. So he told him that, like, I'm his legal counsel.
They did the Mexican police style, huh?
Well, you find out like a little bit about the cop that arrested him a little bit later in the episode. But they're tuning him up.
That was a bad scene.
Yeah, he's like, I'm his lawyer. He goes in there and has a conversation with the guy. And it's like, so as he's talking to him, he can tell that part of what he's telling him is the truth, and part of what he's telling him is a lie. Like, something is not right. So he can tell that, by the way, like, he can hear his heart beating on him.
It senses he could tell if they're lying or stuff like that.
Right, because he's telling the truth up until him is like, is there anything that you're not telling me? And he's like, no, I'm telling you everything. So he could tell that he lied about that. So when he talks to the cop that he has on retainer, that the retired cop, and he tells him that, all right, so we're gonna take this case. He convinces his partner that we gonna take this case because like it's part of the things that we do around here. It's like we do big clients and we do little clients. So he pulls the retired cop to the side and he's like, look, man, he's telling the truth about this, but I don't trust him about this other thing. And he's like, well, how can he be both? I'm like, he can be both, and I can tell that it's both. So there is a witness because the whole thing is like there was no witness to what it was a he said thing. So the cop saying that the dude just showed up and started kicking their butt and pushed the dude on the train tracks, and he's like, and so the other guy is telling him what actually happened. So it turns into a whole thing because you are taking on this. There's already issues with the police in New York at that time, with the police commissioner threatening to leave, and then if he leaves, like a third of the police force is going to go with him, kind of thing. And at the same time, Wilson Fix, it's like, Daredevil gets hooked up with a therapist chick by the partner. So they having a conversation. As they're having a conversation, we find out that Wilson Fix wins the election because like half the people are like, this dude is a asshole, and half the people are like, no, he's awesome because he gets stuff done. So we also were introduced by the reporter Urich's daughter, or I don't know, I think it's his daughter, but she's a little young because he was kind of old. So I don't know exactly what she is, but she is she's a on the street type reporter. So she's interviewing people, and the people that she's talking to, half of them think that it's great that he's running for mayor, and the other half think that it's terrible that he's running for mayor.
Oh, when he's riding with this, there's a traffic stop and he gets on it, tells the guy to fix the pothole, the big ass pothole.
Yeah, because she's the lady is telling them was like, all right, it's like, look, you just got in, you can't stir the pot yet. I know you want to stir the pot, but you can't stir the pot. He's like, she's kind of looking at her like okay, whatever. So it stopped. So traffic is stopped. Like, what's going on? Some guys come back and said, yeah, there's a giant pothole that nobody can go around. But he gets out the car. She's telling him, don't go. He goes over to the construction dudes. He's like, all right, all y'all, go fix that hole over there. And the guy's like, well, there's all kind of red tape that prevents us from doing that. He's like, nah, red tape is done. Go fix the hole. So he's like telling everyone who's taking this picture now about that this is how I'm gonna get stuff done. I'm gonna get things done. It's like all the BS.
He's trying to give a good impression.
Bro, the fact that he fixed the hole and the way that he did it, and he did it publicly, it's like, because she was telling him about optics, and her thing was, well, you don't rock the boat because the optics looks bad. Like, I know you want to do all this stuff because he got a bone up his butt about vigilantes, and he name drops White Tiger and the Punisher, and he name drops, well, he doesn't name drop, but he talks about Spider-Man. Remember I was telling you before how the way that the Netflix shows work is they mention aspects of the movies, but the movies didn't really touch on the TV shows. So yeah, it's just because that allows both of them to kind of do their own thing, and the way that movies are and the way TV shows work in terms of how they're filmed, you can't really align them properly. Hence the reason that they had so much issues with their television shows is because they were basically movies that they were trying to put on TV. So they would take a movie script and stretch it into like 6 or 7 or 8 episodes, and when you do that, you wind up with a whole lot of filler because you got to make scenes go longer than they're supposed to, because a lot of these things were supposed to be movies.
Did you watch the 3 seasons on Netflix? The Daredevil?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I might check it out. I'll check it out.
Because you get the hand, because that's one of his principal bad guys is the hand. It's like undead ninjas. Yeah, you can't kill the ninja. You can't kill them.
Yeah, what was the black guy? The other one? Cage? Was it Cage?
Luke Cage.
Yeah, Luke Cage. I didn't watch that one either.
Luke Cage was good for the first half. Then they killed off what's his name? They killed off one of the they killed off one of the characters that made the show and replaced him with a guy who was just not. It was just not good. It was like it was a whole brother thing, and it was stupid. Bro, it was so dumb. And so it's like you got half a good season,
But
and then
it's 2 seasons, right? Luke Cage. I
did he
believe it's
get
2
two?
seasons.
Yeah, I think he might have gotten two. Because I know Iron Fist got two as well. But that would dude.
That was interesting. I was watching it, and then for some reason I just stopped because it was kind of boring. Like I was watching it.
He's about Iron Fist or
Yeah,
Netflix?
Iron
Or,
Fist.
yeah,
Iron
because
Fist. And then I for some reason it just I started really. I was not interested no more.
because one, the Iron Fist is supposed to be one of the best martial artists in the MCU. The only person who's better than him is Shang-Chi.
Mhm.
So Shang-Chi he's not getting beat up by his sister or none of that stuff. It's just a lot of stuff. It's like, again, it's people who are writing this who don't understand a character. So you get a bunch of people who can't understand why this white dude is knows kung fu because I don't know. I guess
But
white people can't.
Iron Fist got 2 seasons too, right?
Right. In the second season, they decided to basically give his powers to his girlfriend.
No, good thing I didn't watch it.
Yeah, dude, because this stuff happened like in the middle of the beginning parts of the MCU type stuff and in the Me Too movement stuff. So it's all that stuff was happening. Then you got like George Floyd thrown in there, and it's all of that. Like Luke Cage didn't go into the George Floyd thing, but there's little bits of that era, the beginning parts of that era, you can start to see when you watch it. So, all right. The cop, they go track down his, I think his name is Torres, his girlfriend, and as they're talking to him, the cop because he tells the cop, he's like, dude, I trust him on this, I don't trust him on this. So he looks through like where the dude lives at, and that's when they find out that he's the White Tiger. And so Matt goes and talks to him. It's like, bro, it's like I'm doing this as a favor to you because you don't have the money to pay me, right? Really, but I'm doing this out of the goodness of my heart, and you're not telling me everything. Because if I can find this, anybody else can find this. And if the DA finds this, that you are vigilante, that just throws everything out the window. And later on, they have a conversation where he basically tells the judge and the prosecutor that he's White Tiger. So the prosecutor is like, well, shit, he just does this for a thing then. So that just made my case. And like, no, we can't say that because if you do, it'll prejudice the jury. Because just because he does this other thing, that don't mean that at this particular moment, that's what was happening. So it's like, so that little bit of nugget gets like the judge is like, all right, you can't bring it up. So then the prosecutor gets all pissed off. So now they have to go find the witness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So at the same time, the kingpin is trying to get the police chief, the police commissioner, to not retire or leave or quit because he can't lose. He's running off of I'm gonna fix crime, and I can't do that if a third of the police leave. Like that's not gonna happen.
Is that when he goes to the cemetery?
Yeah, he goes to the funeral.
The guy tells him he has some balls to come in here.
Yeah, he's like, wait a minute, dude. It's like he's like, I didn't kill Sergeant
Mm-hmm.
whoever. It's like, well, you may not have killed him, but you killed a bunch of other people. It's like, dude, I know who you are, right?
Yeah.
It's like I know who you are. So he winds up like the police commissioner goes to quit later. And he's like, yeah. So he puts his thing down. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna leave, and I'm gonna take third of the staff with me. So he's like, so the kingpin is having a sandwich, and he's like, Philly makes a good like Philly cheesesteak, and he's like, but if you go out of the city, then there's a really good place. And he lifts up the little package of the sandwich that he's eating and shows him a picture of what looks like a mistress and a kid. And and he puts it back down.
Blackmail, huh?
Oh yeah, puts it back down, and
Normal politician stuff.
yeah, he's just like, all right, so the raises that you guys wanted, that ain't happening, and this other thing, yeah, that ain't happening, and this other thing, yeah, that ain't happening either. So we got a deal. The guy looking at him is like, okay, said. So the kingpin is like, all right, pleasure doing business with you, and the guy's like, all right, you may regret this, and then he walks out. Now, is the I'm trying to figure out who the hell his sidekick is. The other guy that's always doing stuff, walking around and talking to people. I'm trying to figure out who the hell that is.
For who, the sergeant?
No, the kingpin. He has that other dude that's in the room that was in the room when he was running for it.
Oh, that younger guy.
Yeah, who goes in?
Supposedly he's the one that got all those signatures because of him. He was
no, not him. There's another dude that's a little older than that guy.
Oh, that was next to that girl when they were talking to him, ain't it?
Yeah, that's the one who's talking to people.
I'm not sure who's that guy.
Yeah, but he seems to be completely okay with him blackmailing the damn police commissioner about I'm gonna kill your kid. Right. So it's like it's gonna be interesting. So far, even when you get there's not that much fighting in the second episode, and it's more of a law episode. You do get a little bit of fighting at the end because they find he follows one of the cops. And it's interesting that the way, because his hearing, and you've already established earlier that he can tell the difference between people's walking and the noise that they make. So that's how he knew that Miss Page was coming, because of the way that she walks and the type of shoes that she wears. So he knew who it was. And he probably could smell her. So he's following the cop.
Because he has the senses.
Right. So he's following the cop by just listening for his thing, so he can follow him fairly far behind without the dude knowing that he's being followed. And he waits outside of his apartment. He's supposed to go on a date, and that gets kind of canceled. So he's just waiting, and he listening. The guy gets a phone call. They found him. We're gonna go take him out. So he's like, all right.
That's when he's outside, just standing there, huh? Outside the apartment, he's just listening.
Right. So he's listening for a phone call. He calls that cop, the retired cop that he has working for him.
Mm-hmm.
No, the retired cop.
Oh, yeah, retired.
Yeah,
one.
he said, get over to such and such place. They found him. I'm gonna go and see if I can save him, whatever. But the part that I did skip is that guy knows that he used to be Daredevil, because he's the guy that came on top of the building after he pushed the dude off, Bullseye off, and he's standing there. He takes his mask off, and the guy's like, Matt. It's like, oh my God, it's Matt. Like, so he knows who. So he knows
that retired cop, right?
Yeah. So he knows who he was. All right. So he goes over there. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens next, because he goes. He tells the guy, the witness is like, all right, look, man, we need to go. You need to leave because the cops found you, and they're going to be coming fairly soon. And the guy was like, oh, but he was trying to hesitate. And he's like, I don't know. I said, I can't talk. And he's like, bro, they're going to kill you. It's like, you ain't got no choice. So he puts him outside and tells him to go to a certain area, because that's where the retired cop is going to be at.
Yeah, to meet him, right? Like, where to meet him.
Right. So Matt waits. The cops come in, like they already were knocking. They bust in, like he opens the door for him to come in, and they look at him as like, oh shit, it's his lawyer. So now the cops are like, oh, fuck. The lawyer knows that they found the witness. Then like, we're screwed. They look around the building, like the thing. He's saying, look, he's gone. You know, he's basically telling him, it's like, look, dude, it's over. I got the witness. He's going, like, this is going to be over with. So they decide that they're going to kill him. And he's like, I'm trying to beat the shit out of y'all right now. Don't do nothing stupid. So he even lets them kick him. They start punching him and pushing him and shoving him, and he's holding back because he made a promise to himself.
His rage.
Yeah, he made a promise to himself that he is not going to give in to being Daredevil again.
Like Catholic guilt.
Right. So he's super guilty about it. And one of them is going to shoot him. Then you can see him go, and then he mollywops the shit. He killed both of them, dude. He broke the dude's arm. One dude landed on his neck. I'm like, bro, both of them dead. Nah,
You see when the other guy slammed into the wall, the corrupt cops shoved Matt to the
yeah.
Murdoch, and then he had a Punisher on the wrist, the tattoo.
He had a. I don't know exactly what that was.
Thing is, there was, remember the Punisher? There were cops that look up to him,
Mm-hmm.
and they're saying that they were part of the, even though Punisher didn't like them,
Mm-hmm.
like, but he's part of that group, like those corrupt cops that they
Okay.
look Punisher as an idol.
Because I actually didn't watch the Punisher TV shows, which I probably need to go back and look at some point. So okay.
I mean, I remember a little bit, but I remember I watched it, but I just can't remember everything.
All right, okay, because I didn't know that. I was like, I didn't know what that was. He just, yeah, both of these dudes dead. I'm like, you don't land on your neck like that and survive.
Yeah, it was like a group of cops that had the Punisher sign, and they were doing their own thing, like but they look up to him. That's why.
Yeah, is a bunch of cops who probably got tired of them arresting people, putting them in jail,
and they're releasing them. Yeah,
and then somebody releasing them. It's like, no, we just need to get rid of these dudes. Period. So the episode basically ends with him going because he gave into his temptation and mollywopped the hell out of both of these dudes.
Yeah, that was one of the best scenes right there too.
Yeah. All right. So overall, good episode. I like it so far. Looking forward to the next one Tuesday.
I believe it's 9 episodes, right?
That I don't know.
9 or 6, I forgot.
Well, I hope it's not 6 because they don't really know how to do these things. The Marvel people don't know how to do TV very well. Like HBO knows how to do TV very well, but these guys don't. All right, so there are some rumors as to the second season. So talk about that a little bit. All right, Born Again season 2 rumor reveals big Defenders update. Could somebody could make an MCU return, and it looks like third episode will be released on Disney Plus Tuesday with cameras already rolling on season 2. Okay, that's good.
Damn, already,
dude.
Maybe they really think it's gonna be a good ratings for this.
Yeah. All right, so many fans are already eager to learn what those 8 episodes hold in store for the Man Without Fear. Cosmic Circus has shared a handful of updates today, including plans for Defenders, as the site's Alex Perez posts. It will be interesting to see how it plays out in the second season and how Matt will convince them to step out of the shadows after what happened in season 1. Likely reference to Marifest's plan to clamp down on vigilantes roaming in Big Apple. This presumably means Marvel Studios has convinced Kristen Ritter, Mike Coltier, and Finn Jones to reprise their respective Netflix roles. However, in the latter's case, the insider believes that when Danny Rand returns, it may not be the way most people want. There have been long theories about him acting as a mentor for the next Iron Fist. See, look, they are trying. Nobody wants this. Like, nobody wants friggin' Asian Iron Fist dude. They put him in the damn, like, there's a Marvel's Rivals game. He's in the Marvel Rivals game. They change him in the comic book. It's like it is possible for someone who is not Asian to know Kung Fu. I don't know why these people don't understand that. The whole point of his character is the cultural, like how everything works out because he's a white dude from that area, from that mythical place, and how he's relating back to being in America, and how he relates to Luke Cage. Him being white plays a factor into that. You make that dude Asian, you completely change the whole aspect of him and Luke Cage's character. It's like, for some reason, these stupid ass people don't seem to understand that.
I thought it had better. A lot of Marvel people got fired, and it still looks like they're still idiots in there.
They haven't gotten rid of everybody, dude. So, all right. During a recent interview, Marvel Television called up references to Echo. Yeah. But his report is rumblings about Alakua Cox reprising her role as Maya Lopez. Oh God, I hope not. Because dude, she can't act. She can't. It's just not. She doesn't fight well. Nothing is good about that. I hope they don't do that.
You mean the girl from Echo?
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's like, bro, it was so. It's so bad.
Don't be Kathleen Kennedy after you ruin Mandalorian when you have something good.
During a recent interview, Marvel Television boss Brad Winderbaum was asked about the future of the Defenders in MCU. I can't say much, but I'll tell you that it's so exciting to be able to play in that sandbox. Obviously, we don't have unlimited storytelling resources like a comic book where you can draw, you can do it. We're dealing with actors in time and massive scale productions in order to build a cinematic universe, especially on television. But I can just say that all those variables are taken into account, and it's certainly something that is creatively extremely exciting and that we are very much exploring. Okay. Blind Lord. Series also. Okay. Masterpiece of epic proportion. Daredevil Born Again delivers a powerful. Okay. And if they do it right, it could be really good. Like they really didn't do the Defenders on Netflix well, but it had a lot to do with the fact that the guy Finn didn't learn how to do to at least pretend to do kung fu well enough to be that character. So it's like what they should have done was found a guy who had the martial arts skills who can act, not find an actor who you have to teach how to have the martial arts skills because that didn't really work. Because like he's supposed to be a phenom in terms of fighting.
I mean, I had a feeling they were gonna bring Echo back when once he mentioned it to Kingpin.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like they were foreshadowing that they were gonna bring her back.
Bro, this is
Even though
Captain Marvel.
the show was bunch of crap, nobody watched it.
This
But
is Captain. It's
they're still
Captain Marvel.
insisting of throwing Echo down our throat.
You would hope that at this point they figure out that all right, if the fan base says they don't want something, they don't want. You can rewrap it in any, especially after Captain America 4 just flopped.
I hadn't even been go watch it or anything.
It's like, bro, no. The fan base telling you what they want, what they don't want. You need to listen to them.
Especially you said about the Red Hawk. I was like, oh, the hell with this movie.
Poster, but he's in the movie for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like and then the leader looks weird. It's just a whole lot of stuff that you could have did something completely different. Had an espionage thing with Falcon. It'd have probably played off better. But that's water under the bridge. All right. There is another thing with all right, so let's get into 2 rumors before we talk about Snape. That's how we'll end this thing. So the next Marvel rumor is Moon Knight. Did you watch that at all?
Yeah, I watched it. I watched the first season. There's only one season, right?
Right. Did you like it?
It was okay. I didn't mind. It was all right. There was some actions.
All right. So essentially, what Moon Knight is supposed to be is Marvel's Batman. I have no idea why they decided to go with the multiple personalities thing. They decided to go with that in the comics. It's probably like the way the character works is those are just he's pretending to be other stuff. He's like a spy kind of thing, right? They decided to go with the mental illness thing, but it's like, all right, whatever. So it recently revealed that Moon Knight will return, albeit not in the second season of his TV series. On the plus side, other plans are being put in place for Mark Spector, Stephen Grant, and Jake Lockley. What they have are yet to be revealed by Marvel Studios. If a new report from Cosmic Circus is to be believed, then, as we know, many of you suspected, Mooney will take center stage in the planned Midnight Suns movie, or perhaps even Daredevil Born Again. All right. The fact that this does that. The site bases that on having learned plans of Moon Knight's next story to be set in New York, so we'll see what happens. Midnight Suns ultimately seems more likely than Daredevil Born Again. Reintroducing the deranged superheroes as a vigilante will be far from a bad thing. After all, many of his best comic book stories are taking place in street level. So, where's the actual information? He's not gonna be part of Doomsday or Secret Wars. Okay. Nick Cage is reportedly locked in to return as Johnny Blaze. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I don't even know how that will fit. You know who you watch the Ghost Rider movies, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage.
Right. Yeah. So they saying that he is locked in to be Johnny Blaze. It won't be Doomsday. So either your bets on the Secret Wars or Spider-Man 4, seeing as the team up has previously been rumored for the Wallcrawler's next solo adventure. Despite that, it doesn't appear as if Cage will be MCU's main spirit of vengeance moving forward. When the character is reintroduced, it's going to be as an agent of Mephisto before he sets off on his own path. Okay. And tends to retell the Ghost Rider's origin story, beginning with him serving as the MCU's devil before becoming a hero in his own right. But that's for what it's worth. We've heard okay. I think Marvel Television has it happening in waves. I think Moon Knight happened in a wave of shows that were established characters would be tied into the future. And moving forward, our priorities have shifted. We're making shows that it can exist as annual releases, more like television. There are plans for Moon Knight down the road. Okay. And the next rumor is Spider-Man will be set in Battle World and could play a visit to Spider Island. Depending on who you believe, Spider teaming with Venom, Daredevil, Ghost Rider, perhaps even his fellow Spider-Man, played by the returning Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. You know what's funny is the Spider-Man fans really enjoyed the fact that at the end of the last Spider-Man movie, he was where he was supposed to be, like broke, following behind the cops on a cop scanner, and have a homemade costume. No more Tony Stark tech, none of that stuff. I didn't really mind the Tony Stark tech stuff, but a lot of the fan base really liked that. And from this thing, it sounds like they're gonna just throw all that out the window and go right to it being a clusterfuck of multiple like characters all over the place. Like you know what Battle World is?
Battle World. That's a movie, right?
No. All right. So in terms of the aims of Marvel, Battle World is where the Beyonder, when he kidnapped a bunch of heroes and villains, and he wanted them to fight it out. So he basically created a planet by taking bits and pieces from a bunch of other planets, even like Earth. So they're like a town in Colorado or something like that. That was there. That's how Absorbing Man and Titana, the like Titana and somebody else were women in that little section that got turned into superheroes by Doctor Doom. I mean, villains by Doctor Doom.
Oh, okay.
All right, so Battle World is that, and I'm trying to, if I remember correctly, in Secret Wars 2, they did something similar to that, where Doctor Doom got the powers of the Beyonder, and using those powers plus Molecule Man, recreated the Earth, like his own version of Earth, where he was a benevolent like ruler, and it's kind of like everybody was, I don't know, it's like a weird Doom version of Utopia kind of thing, where he's in charge of everything. It's like a weird thing that they just, remember I told you they basically created it so that they can bring Miles Morales and put him in the main Marvel universe, the 616. That basically was they decided to kill the Ultimate Universe, which they just brought back for whatever reason, and they liked the character so much that they figured out a way to put him into the main universe. All right. So they had a version of Battle World in both of those things. So I'm not exactly sure which one they're gonna go with.
What was Daredevil not in Avengers?
Because he's not an Avenger.
Oh, okay.
I don't think. I don't think he's an Avenger. I know there's affiliation. There's a lot of affiliation stuff, and it's been a long time. So maybe at some point he he might have been. I don't know. There've been a lot of people on the friggin' Avengers. They had like multiple X-Men on the Avengers. All right.
Oh, okay.
Claimed that the following weekend's concept art leaks for the Avengers Doomsday, reiterating previous reports about Spider-Man 4 being a battle world story. The insider suggests that we can expect a lot of Spider people in the movie and pointed to Spider Island being a strong possibility. In the Spider Island comic book event, the Queen the what the hell? The Queen teams up with the Jackal and gives everyone in New York City, including other superheroes, their own spider powers. Yeah, that was a weird story. So I don't know. All right. So I don't know, dude. I think they should chill with all this extra stuff and just make like good movies and concentrate on good movies instead of trying to do. And this is the problem with the comic
Just
books.
keep it simple. Just but they're overthinking.
Yeah, because like in the comic books, would kill the comics besides the woke stuff and hiring the wrong folks to write books. They just started doing event after event after event. And it stopped. Like events are supposed to be special. It's like everyone has their own story. And then every couple of years or so, you make a big story where everybody, all the Fantastic Four and the X-Men and the Avengers and all that stuff are taking on a huge thing. And then and whatever happens affects all the different books. And then they go right back to their own individual stories as they deal with the aftermath of whatever the event was. So the events were cool. But then they just thought it was like this week and then that week. And then so it was World War Hulk and then this other thing happening. And so it just got to be this cluster of this crap. And it seems like from all the rumors, that is the direction that Kevin Feige is taking the MCU in, which is a mistake. So
I don't know why I don't know why he even still with Marvel. But I understand it's another Kathleen Kennedy connection, stuff like that. So now they're not gonna fire him.
no. Okay, so one final MCU rumor before we go to the last story of the day. All right. All right. So this basically is Marvel Studios had lukewarm on when asked if the Avengers Secret Wars will reboot the MCU. Is a very difficult thing to do to a living, breathing fictional universe because of all the fan investment. So all right. This right here is the Ultimate Universe characters, and this is at the time was the all new, all digital universe. So all right, so you got the Hulk, which the Captain Falcon, Storm, like female Thor.
Yeah.
This is when one event they turned all the heroes who got caught up into this beam thing or whatever, made them evil. So you had evil Iron Man, and when they changed everybody back, he put something on his head to prevent them from turning him back to good. So that and this may it could dependent like given the time period, this may be the Asian Thor. I mean Asian Hulk. So like Asian kid figured out how to make himself into the Hulk, but his Hulk was better. But he went from and instead of like Banner having to go and figure out how to control himself as the Hulk, he just could do it from the jump. He just made a better Hulk. All right, so yeah. In addition to the fact that the concept serves the basis to which film takes place, speculation that Secret Wars could be rebooted in canon came in late September when noted scooper "Can we get some toast?" reported per their sources. Marvel boss Kevin Feige is making Secret Wars their send off, and not only the current MCU but all the Marvel movies that came before Iron Man. So yes, Hugh Jackman won't be recasted after Avengers Secret Wars. Feige is making Secret Wars the send off to not only current MCU but all movies that the ultimate soft reboot to make way for something new, all different. Yeah, that in Daredevil 3, the hero embarked on a quest to find the perfect one. Oh, okay. I don't know, dude. At this point, I have no idea if they even know what they want to do. Uh, okay.
I think they're just second guessing every time. Like they have a plan, then they change it. Then they change it. It's back and forth.
Yeah.
Or
So
unless the
this
people from the higher up make disagree, they want to change it.
so this is an I think this is taken from the Secret Wars. Yeah, Volume 1 Beyond. Yeah. So this may be what they're taking the story from. I don't know. Bro, I don't know. I from all the different rumors and the stuff that they've been doing, I do have hope because Daredevil is actually entertaining. Now, some people don't like it. Some people really like it. I'm kind of like, it's giving me a little bit of hope because it's
I
not shit.
mean, compared to the last series, the last 4 series that they brought out from Marvel sucked.
Yeah.
I think the last one was maybe Vision was the best one. Then after that was just crap.
Yeah. So they got Vision Quest coming out. And okay. Let's see. Where's the story at? Or okay, here we go. Last story of the thing. It is the Harry Potter thing. Okay, so when I show you this, fans of this are basically saying that this basically makes Harry Potter dead on arrival. All right. Okay, so the guy on this is Alan Rickman, and this is kind of what Snape looked like. Even though he's too old, because Snape is supposed to be in his 30s. All right, but as he is described in the book, he is pale faced with slick, lanky hair, kind of thing, an ugly man. This is who supposedly they casted to be him in the Harry Potter TV show.
What? Why would they do that?
They want to do what modern London looks like.
Oh yeah, I mean London is so crazy right now with all this the woke stuff and going on in there. Yeah,
Right. So I mean, not
they're
many
more crazy than us here in the
Yes.
U.S.
Yeah, they're nuts. Papa Cien, whatever his name is, first actor identified for the series, closing his deal to portray Professor Severus Snape, along with Janet McTeers, negotiating to play Professor McGonagall. Rumored that Boris Kid offered the part of Severus. Responding to the report, we appreciate this as high profile series. Will draw a lot of rumor and speculation as we make our way through pre-production, and we can only confirm details as we finalize deals. In J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, she describes Snape as Professor Quirrell in his absurd turban was talking to a teacher with greasy black hair, a hooked nose, and sallow skin, which is that. All right, that's what sallow skin is. That very pale. Also, she describes him as Gryffindors came spilling into the field. She saw Snape land nearby, white face and tight lip. When Harry sent a hand on his shoulder, he looked at Dumbledore's smiling face. She actually drew a picture of him. And okay. So from everything that we know, that I must say he does look like a Count Dracula-ish with a cloak. Okay, Mike's commitment to preserving the integrity of my books is important to me. I'm looking forward to being part of this new adaptation, which will allow for a degree of depth and detail only afforded by a long-form television series. So, person asks if they're willing to change the race of a character. One asks the question, what else will they be changing as well? So, this is all right. So, Hermione is one of the characters of the trio. This was a stage play, and they decided to make Hermione look like this. People got upset about it, and she says that
It's in London, right?
yeah. So this was in London.
Oh, okay.
So she
I
approved.
understand that.
So she already approved of the race swap Hermione Granger. Defending the decision regarding with in my experience of social media, I thought the idiots were going to be an idiot, but what can you say? It's the only way the world is. No one was chosen because she was the best actor for the job, which is bullshit. When
is this it's gonna be a series, right?
right. So whenever they say this, it's bullshit because they look for specific people to play specific parts. The people who say that just pretend that that's not how Hollywood actually operates. They know what they're looking for when she says she's the best actress for the job, that she was the best one of
It's their
all the
line.
black people. Yeah, it was of all the black people that they were looking at. She was the best one. So they were already looking for a black person to play this part or
So
whatever shit.
it's gonna be on HBO?
Yeah.
Why
So
would HBO do this shit?
okay, okay. So this is the open casting call. If your child will be considered.
What was
Yeah.
that phrase that I always say? Don't fix it if it's not broken.
Yeah.
It's like, why we do this stuff?
No, it is all right.
We already seen Rings of Power. That shit got screwed everything up.
Bro, for James Bond, because
Oh yeah, I'm wondering about that one too.
no, dude, because when Amazon bought MGM, they got the right to the rights to publish James Bond. They had been passed the person who was in charge of James Bond, they had been bugging them about making a spinoff with a person of color and a female James Bond to the point where it was driving them crazy. And they like, no, we're not doing that. So now they just threw a truckload of money at them, and so they're gonna do that, regardless of whether or not people actually want it. And the reason for this, and this is the same reason why when people look at the people who make games, and they show you a picture, and if it's like 90% women mixed with people you can't really tell what they are, and a lot of people with blue and green hair, you know the game is gonna be shit.
That's
Because
when you're so rich and everything, you don't care what people's opinions.
no, it is not even about rich, dude. It
No,
is
I'm not talking about just rich. I'm talking about like you're a
yeah,
freaking billionaire corporation, this and that. They don't care
no,
about the fans or their opinion.
no.
They just whatever the fuck they want.
No, what it is they hire these people who have these crazy opinions on stuff and want to change how the world is. Those people only hire people who think like them. So, and you see this all the time. Remember, I was telling you about how the old artists for Disney got basically pushed out the door because they were too old and white.
Yeah.
And then now they can't make a freaking 2D, 3D, anything to save their life because everyone who knew how to make actually entertaining animation movies they got rid of. So now all you got left are these fucktards who can't do anything but make stuff.
That's why they're losing so much money.
Right. Inside Out was a hit not because Inside Out 2 was a hit not because of the movie that Pixar wanted to make. This was the movie that Disney made them make. It's like, no, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. And they bitched them on the entire time. And so they made a movie by being forced to make a Pixar movie how it used to be. But that's not what they wanted to make. They was gonna make some crazy ass shit that nobody was gonna watch. And the people at Disney was like, no, we can't keep making shit like this. Every time we let you make whatever you want, you wind up with Buzz Lightyear with his lesbian best friend who's better at everything than he is, and her wife with a kid who's mixed kid. Well, who the hell? Where did this kid come from? Like, how do a black woman and a white woman have a mixed? How does this happen?
Yeah, I did watch that at the theater. So
right. So, but it's the same thing. Is you see it, gaming companies and the like Halo is doing all kind of crazy ass weird shit because the person's in charge is this queer
but also
lesbian.
too, the actor was shitting on the fans too.
Hmm?
The actor, he was shitting on the fans.
Actor for what?
The main actor of Halo.
Yeah,
He was telling, "Don't watch it if you don't want."
Yeah, dude, that's again because that's who they hire. They don't hire people who would just play the part. No, they hire activists and then they make shit. And none of these people care if it makes no money. Like they don't really care. So at some point, Disney gotta be like, bro, we gotta make money, man. People clearly don't want this shit. And it's like, like in Britain, they got rid of all the attractively fit women on all the posters because it was making the overweight women feel bad. So they got rid of all like that, like by you not showing the attractive chick was somehow gonna make the men attracted to the fat chicks. But that's not how it works.
There's men that like fat chicks.
Yes, it's a small few. Most men don't. It's like men don't really
No,
like tall
I agree
women.
with that part.
Yeah, they're like most women. Most men don't really like tall women. Even tall dudes don't like tall women. It just kind of how shit works. You can't change that.
Yeah,
You can
everybody has a preference.
right, but like in terms of what the general population wants, is it's somewhere in this little spectrum.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Sports Illustrated, remember?
Right, and they started putting all kind of extra shit on there. Died. Maxim was a super popular magazine. They started putting all this weird stuff in it. It died because men don't want that. So you can put whatever you want on the cover. That don't mean people gonna give you money for it. It's the same with this. So it's like, so all these people who are fans of this shit are like, your whole bit was we're gonna be super authentic and into the books. And the first thing that comes out, you race change one of the characters who is described in the book as being pale. This guy's not pale. And then like if you race change Hermione and you make her black because you already made her black in the play, and you know how this shit works is if you make one of them black at some point in whatever in a book whatever, that means that all the rest of them are black now too.
You think so? Because I remember, I don't remember House of Dragon when they made the one of the Targaryens. Not the other Targaryens. They made them black. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
But the reason the guy said he did on black so people will not get confused, so they'll know who he is.
Right, but the reason why that actually worked is one, the actor that he chose, he made it somewhat feasible. Now, when you get into the weeds, it's like there's no way that dude, even if he's mixed, had them two white kids. That like this is like
No,
the whole Michael. All right, that doesn't happen. But the person who like, all right, so he may have had a legit reason why he did that. So when he casted the best actors and he told a good story. That is an anecdote. The rest of these fools don't do that.
No.
So think about it. All right. So what was the nickname that they gave Hermione when she was in school? Because both her parents were regular humans and she was a witch, so she didn't come from a bloodline. So what do they call those? In Harry Potter, they call them mudbloods. Are you gonna call a little black child mudblood on a TV show that's aired in Britain and in America? That you think that's gonna happen? No,
I don't think so.
No, that's not gonna happen. So you got to change other parts. So when you change this part, you got to change this part, and you got to change this part, and you got to change this part, and you got because it won't work. If she's white and they call her mudblood, then it means something else.
Yeah, no, that'll be offensive.
Right, and it's like so. Then you got Snape. You made him black. So not so. Given the state of all this stuff right now, the whole issue that Snape has with Harry is because he doesn't like his dad. His dad used to be mean to him and made fun of him, did all kind of stuff. So then it turns into a whole different thing when you got all these yuppie white dudes making fun of the goofy black kid in the 70s. That comes a whole different thing because you decided to virtual signal in the future. I'm like, all right, but you need to think about how this shit is going to look in the past. When you get to the past and the time period of what was happening at the time. So then it comes into a whole different thing. But they don't really think about that shit.
They wouldn't if they want to do the swap race change. I mean, we'll see how the ratings go. So,
bro, it's like you're already pissing off the fan base. Like, why? All you got to do is cast everyone that looks that how they're described in the book. You can have a huge hit. Hire the best writers to write. Stop.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised with it's HBO, or Max. What are you gonna call it, Max? They've been pretty good in doing series.
I don't know. So you already like Dumbledore is going to be John Lithgow. So you're already casting an American to play like British dude in England in the 90s. So is he gonna do a British accent? I don't know. It may work, it may not. This doesn't, given the state that we are in right now and how people feel about all kind of shit. I don't know why you would do this, but you hire the wrong people to cast people. So you got the wrong people in this position. They make these kind of decisions without even thinking about like, well, what are the repercussions for that?
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed right there with HBO there.
Yeah, so it's the same thing with Captain America 4. It's like, why did you do this? It didn't work in the comic book. So why would you think it would work in the movie there?
I think they're just trying to promote the what's his name, the actor? Faggy? No. The
Anthony
actor.
Mackie?
Yeah, I think they're just trying to just promote him. Like
You should then do a Falcon movie. You could have did that.
they could have done a Falcon series, just like what he did the other one, but it was
No, they
it was
did,
bad.
but then they did do a Falcon series, but they hired a bunch of writers who were
Yeah, I know.
activists.
It was bad. I watched it.
Yeah, and because it came out around the Black Lives Matter shit, these activists felt the need to put that shit in this. Why aren't you making the TV show dated? And then, given what we know about Black Lives Matter now, it makes it even worse.
Yeah, and he was a good character. I like Falcon when he was Captain America, so he was a good adventure and everything.
Right, because his character's been around since like 1970 something. He's a OG Marvel comic book character that you have no faith in, so therefore you just threw his 50 years of history out the window so that he can wear the mantle of a white dude.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of bullshit, dude. Like, seriously. All right, well, that's it for this evening. So, man, I gotta go drop something off at work tomorrow. And I gotta do a bunch of like stuff. I don't feel like, typically I'm off day, I don't feel like doing shit. But I gotta go do some driving tomorrow. So what are you gonna get into?
Shit, it's already gonna be fucking 10:30.
Yeah. All right. Well, so on behalf of myself and my man Ricky there, we would like to say please like, share, and subscribe. Give us a comment. I wish you guys the couple of y'all who check us out. Next time we do this every Sunday around the same time. Chime in, give us tell us what you think about what we're saying or doing, whatnot.
And check out Daredevil.
Oh yeah, it's actually pretty good. So all right, later.